Hey, it's Ramey here at the UMI Performance Race Shop with Dave and Dustin. This season we're going to be outfitting the UMI 78 Cutlass with a Pace Performance engine.
In the last episode we got everything tore out of the car. We got the engine transmission out. We're going to start cleaning up and ready to put stuff back in.
All right guys, let's get started.
For the 78 Cutlass build, we're going to throw on some Viking coilovers. We know we're doing an engine swap in this car, so some of the weights between the old small block and the new LS3 that we're putting in could be different. We also really like the adjustability of the Viking coilover shocks, and also we're going to be able to fine tune this car down to the ride height that we want. We got to get all those pesky cotter pins out. We're going to get this caliper off here.
And once you get those off, you could put the castle nut and cotter pins back in place so you don't lose them.
Now, one of the tools we like to use in the shop is a couple pieces of TIG wire, just so that we can hang the caliper and not damage the line or anything.
We use a ball peen hammer here. We're gonna unseat those ball joints. We're also gonna do that with the steering components.
Now we know we're going to be putting coilovers on this car, so we're going to remove the shock and drop the shock down through our A-arm.
Currently on the car are UMI lowering springs, regular springs, and a Bilstein shock, which is part of the Stage 2 kit. We're going to be upgrading to the Viking components in the Stage 2.5 in this episode.
While I'm working on the car, Dave's over on the bench getting the coilovers ready. Gonna assemble those, get our nice thrust bearings, everything put on.
We're gonna use a tall floor jack on the bottom of the A-arm to compress that spring a little bit.
One of the nice features of the UMI 3031 arm is that it can accommodate both standard style springs or the Viking hybrid coilover. The lower bucket is plenty strong and can support that T-bar in the entire weight of the front end of the car. These arms feature poly bushings, greasable. They're fluted and they have some grease channels on the outside. Poly bump stop, double shear sway bar mount, which is included. So the double shear rod end goes in here, and then it has the regular poly bushing on top to fit factory or UMI sway bars. Then another neat feature of these arms is actually the steering stops, which are included. We have two different steering stop heights. They go here, and what happens is if you're running larger tires, the steering stop stops it before the tire hits the chassis. The Viking hybrid coilover is one of our most popular products. It allows for ride height adjustability as well as damping adjustability, both compression and rebound channels. To assemble the Vikings, we put the rod end in the lower with the T-bar.
And everything bolts right up to the factory position on our UMI arms. We get the Viking coilover installed on the bottom of the arm, slide that hybrid spring on, get everything slid up into the pocket.
And actually, in this case, the coilover spring itself and the shock is the spring compressor, so no spring compressor is required.
Super important to make sure your spring sets in the fingers of the factory spring pocket. If you don't get them set properly, sometimes the car won't sit right. One of the fingers gets bent up. Just lifting this arm up into place, trying to get the coilover up through the stud, tighten all your hardware, and that's about it. You can start putting it back together.
Here we're going to load our spindle back into place and connect our end links for our sway bar.
I'm going to switch over to the rear end here. Wanting to do coilovers on the back of this as well, so we're going to take them shocks off.
Out back, it's a simple disassembly of removing the factory replacement Bilstein shocks we had in place. Lower that rear end a little bit and you can pop those springs out.
The UMI 3034 bar is actually 1 inch diameter, which is larger than factory. The guys are removing the rear trailing arms to make room for the coilover kit.
So with the factory rear, we have an anti-rotation pin that sometimes you gotta drill a small hole. Once we get that anti-rotation hole drilled, then we can install the factory coilover bracket.
Part number 3049 fits the factory axle 7.5 inch housing. This is the UMI 3049. It has a double shear bracket here that further allows ride height adjustability. So not only do you have the coilover height adjustment, we have some bracket height adjustment. Up top we have a bracket that fits the T-bar that will come with your Viking shock. Spreads the load on the factory frame on the GM metric car. The products come with Vikings in most cases. This is a Viking C209, useful for about 2-inch lowering, and then it has the 2.5-inch coilover spring as well. We have all of the rates available.
So with this factory rear setup, we're not doing anything crazy with the car. So we just went with a 150-pound spring on the coilover.
We could now, with the car lifted up, dial in that ride height by hand, much easier.
The factory style sway bar fits right back in there. So this car will still have some great cornering capabilities. The rear sway bar on the GM G-Body is pretty small to start with. So we upgrade that to 1 inch in diameter, build it from 4140 chrome moly. It actually comes with hardware, you can see here. Bolts right in, no additional parts required. The sway bar reduces body roll and really helps make the balanced suspension and make the car handle much better.
Here's our wheels going back on, and we can get this down on the ground.
In this episode, we went from the Stage 2 standard springs and Bilstein shocks to the UMI coilover kit featuring Viking performance. The double shear brackets and the Viking shocks and springs allow for lowering and also damping adjustment. So this car went from a nice corner carving cruiser to a more race capable situation, but it's also still very nice on the street. Thanks for watching the UMI G-Body build series. Like and subscribe. We appreciate all the comments, and if you have any questions, check umiperformance.com.